Hello. How does
Hello.
it feel?
न्यू एक्सपीरियंस एकदम कैमरा वैमरा लगे हुए हैं ऐसा लग रहा है हमारा सेलिब्रिटी टाइप इंटरव्यू हो रहा है कॉफी बियर विद
मुझे भी #celeb feels आ रहा है ना so it's called the Show Up Show. So what brings you here and you've shown up over here? Tell us something about yourself, Vijay.
What brings me here? I simply got a call from Arun. Aaja, तो Arun is somebody whom I never say no to. So I said, आजा हूँ.
अपने बारे में बताइए.
क्या जानना चाहेंगे आप?
शुरुआत का बताइए. स्टोरी टेलिंग में आप हैं. मैं चाहती हूँ आप बताओ. You tell us.
स्टोरी टेलिंग में I've been a full hardcore corporate guy for 23 years. And then I moved into storytelling, and that's how, in fact, I got in touch with Creativegarh because I was going through that transition at that point of time.
Okay.
So I had a lot of वो जो होता है ना कि when you worked in a certain framework for many years, तो एक layer सी चढ़ जाती है आपके ऊपर. So it was becoming very difficult to take that layer off me, that entire persona that you created for the outside world, and that's how you start seeing yourself. So that's when I kind of came across Creativegarh and attended it, and life has not been the same at all after that. It's been completely.
Achha.
And now I'm a full-time storyteller. I'm a storytelling coach who has two faces. So I call myself a story guy with two faces. One, the fiction side, where I write fiction.
Right.
I help people write fiction. And then there's the corporate side, where I conduct workshops on how can you use storytelling at work, data storytelling. I write stories for corporate communications. If anybody needs something, any help on that, so I do that. So yeah, on the professional front, I'm a story guy, and I'm a husband, and I'm a very proud father.
Oh, that's lovely.
What about you?
So I'm from Rajasthan.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I'm from Ajmer.
क्या बात कर रहे हो? मैं पढ़ी हूँ अजमेर में यार, मेयो कॉलेज गर्ल्स स्कूल.
अरे.
So वहाँ पे जाके, in fact, वहाँ पे teachers, they used to tell me that you have a voice. I always say that Mayo College Girls School helped me find my voice, and I started singing over there. पढ़ाई में तो डब्बा गुल था मेरा. I couldn't study, but I was very interested in singing, dancing, and later on I thought I would pursue it, but then, as I say, life happened, and I became a journalist, and पर म्यूजिक कभी सुनना नहीं छोड़ा and गुनगुनाना नहीं छोड़ा. So it was very important for me to get up in the morning and hum anything, and I used to keep learning music till there was a break, and it was a rude break, and I just completely left singing, and it took me a while to get back to it. And I know हमको ज़्यादातर अपनी बातें करनी है, but Creativegarh is such an important part of us, right?
It is.
Yeah, and that's it. And it was Abhilasha 2.0 where I realized that I have to just sing it as it is my purpose, and I haven't left singing, except that I tell my 5.5-year-old daughter now, कि बेटा मैं एक ज़माने में गाती थी, अब मैं सिर्फ चिल्लाती हूँ.
Tell us a little bit about what music you released. Some music?
Yeah, so I released my independent music single. I worked with this brilliant music producer in Bombay called Anurag Mishra. तो उन्हीं का गाना था. It was his song, it was his lyrics, it was his music. I sang it, and I feel it was it's such a privilege that I was given a chance to sing that. Having said that, I do have my own songs. Yeah, I have old recordings of my songs. In fact, for a Delhi-based band, I am writing lyrics for.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm writing lyrics. It was really funny because the other day I went to this particular club where they were playing, and I was like, "ये तो जाना पहचाना लग रहा है." Until I realized, I was like, "हाँ." 2-4 हफ्ते पहले I was meeting him during the day for his music, to give lyrics to his music. So yeah, music and writing, I think it's cathartic. और मैं अपनी बच्ची को भी यही समझाती हूँ और सबको यही बोलती हूँ that you know, whether you read a book, whether you like you are into storytelling or music or any sort of dance form, you are never alone. You're never lonely. You know, you have a companion for life. आप चाहे किताब उठाइए, आप चाहे गाना गाइए, you have a companion for life. You're just never alone. Have a song and who's saying you're lonely?
Art somehow is creativity. Art is kind of then a soul.
Yeah.
It somehow brings the soul alive.
Right.
Whether you do it for yourself, whether you do it for a living, or you do it in a closed room, basically.
Yeah.
It brings your soul alive.
Yeah.
So you said you write songs. What is it like some moment which prompts you to write a song, or you sit down to write a song? Because that's something which has always intrigued me. In fact, मेरे को तो बड़ा ये basic सा this I never knew that. Is it like a situation कि हाँ इसके ऊपर गाना लिखो या एक suddenly artistic type कि नहीं मेरे को मन कर रहा है गाना लिखने का? How does it?
So for example, हर सुबह मैं अपना दिल तोड़ती हूँ और गाना लिख देती हूँ.
Okay.
So for example, I have a song which is called Tanha, and कुछ आपको सुना देती हूँ. तेरे चेहरे पे कोई शिकन ना रहे, मेरे चेहरे पे तेरे गम हो, तू न हारे कभी, ये दुआ है मेरी, तेरे आंसू मेरे संग हो, हर खुशी हो तेरी, हर हंसी हो तेरी, संग तेरे हो ज़मीं आसमां, तन्हा तन्हा जीना है यार, ये सफर है खाटू भरा, साथ तू जो चले, संग तेरा जो मिले, ये सफर यूं ही कट जाएगा, ये सफर यूं ही कट जाएगा.
तो ये जैसे गाना है, this song. Now this is because it's my melody. The melody comes to me first. The tune is coming to me first. Of course, I have a certain thought in mind, and that's when the lyrics start flowing. It's very difficult when you are to do the same thing for someone else.
Because of that feel that you have when the melody comes to you, that's your own feel.
Yeah. So on my phone, I have so many of these audio notes because I'll wake up and there are times, Vijay, when in my dream a tune has come. When in my dream, words have come. I actually have this.
Then you get kind of wake up and.
I wake up and I'm just like taking my phone and I'm like, no. So I do journaling in the morning. The minute I wake up, I do journaling, and for me that's very important. For me, that's my prayer. Every morning I have to get up. I have, in fact, on my bedside table, I keep my journal and my pen. Or मैं उठते ही I start writing. I am literally sleepy. I'm not even fully awake, and I'm just scribbling. And वो process मेरे लिए important है. It's part of this. So, what about you? What about storytelling? होता क्या है? What is storytelling?
Storytelling होता क्या है? It's वैसे तो storytelling सबको पता है क्या होता है, but if I have to define it, I believe stories means change. If there's any situation in which there's been a change in an individual, there's been a change in a situation, there's been a change in with the way you look at certain things, that can become a story. I'll give you an example what I mean by this. In fact, this comes up in my workshops also quite a lot, where let's say a kid went to a carnival along with the parents, and the kid went to the carnival, had a lot of good time, played some games, went to the merry-go-round, and then came back.
Right.
Now, traditionally, somebody would say it's a story. I would not call it a story because the person is similar. The person is the same at the beginning and at the end.
Right.
It's not that it can't be called a story, but I have a better name for it. I call it an essay. The way बचपन में लिखे करते थे ना कि वो one day at a carnival के ऊपर एक निबंध लिख के आओ या एक essay लिख के आओ. So that falls in the essay category for me. But let's say there was a change, some incident happened. Let's say the merry-go-round got stuck at the top and the kid was really scared and the parent is trying to convince the kid that नहीं घबराओ मत. And then everything kind of became okay and the kid learned a lesson saying, okay, I need to trust my parents. What my dad says is right. So so the kid entered the carnival with a different thought process and exited with the thought process saying, oh, yes, I need to trust my dad. So that's like a change in insight. So that still kind of qualifies as a story as far as I am concerned. This is how I look at stories.
Okay.
Any change that has happened. Now that can be amplified, made more interesting. Some complications can be added to that to make it interesting for the audience, and that is what storytelling is. Taking up a simple incident, adding some complications to it, making it more interesting for the audience so that they are on their seats saying, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? That is what I would call storytelling is.
Okay, and what is important in storytelling? I can imagine like tone. I can imagine even understanding drama or theater is an important component of storytelling.
All of these fall under the category of storytelling. Storytelling is a category which kind of encompasses everything. Theater is a part of storytelling. Movies are a part of storytelling. Stage performances are a part of storytelling. The books that we read are a part of storytelling. So all of these kind of come under the umbrella of storytelling.
Can I be a storyteller?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do for a living.
So can all of us be storytellers?
Yeah.
Like, I believe that everybody can sing. I don't think...
Absolutely. Anybody can become a storyteller.
Vijay, that was really interesting. What makes you jump out of bed every day? I've got these cue cards over here and I thought it was interesting to ask you this question.
Jump out to nahi, because I'm not that athletic that I jump out of bed every day. But yeah.
Bhavnaon pe jaiye, bhavnaon pe.
So it's been a journey where for 23 years I was in a typical corporate life.
Right.
Nothing wrong about that. It's just that I didn't know what I like to do.
Right.
And I was just doing it because the entire world does it. And then when I explored storytelling and I finally realized that I'm good at it over the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And this is my calling and decided to convert it into a profession. Even that was fine. But then now when I started telling the world that I'm into this since the last 3-4 years, and the conversations that I have with my ex-colleagues or friends, it's a little weird and sad at times. I still remember a conversation with an old colleague of mine. He told me that मुझे करना तो हम भी कर लें, but हमको पता नहीं है हम क्या करना चाहते हैं. So you're at least, whether you're successful or not is immaterial. Like he's like, I have enough money. I don't need money.
Yeah.
But I'm into this, continuing with this life, because I don't know what else to do. So I'm just living this life though I'm not liking it, I'm bored out of it, but I don't know what else to do. You at least know what you do. Whether you're successful or not is immaterial. So that kind of incident kind of shook me up that, I'm so blessed that I am now, because when you're in the journey, you don't realize that you are undergoing such a major change. It's moments like these when you stop and you look back and you realize, oh my God, I've changed a lot. So that feeling I'm so blessed that I am now into a different world which I absolutely love, and So this is what kind of wakes me up, that entire feeling of gratitude and blessing, that this is something that has given, stories have given meaning to my life.
Wow.
And so yeah, that's what makes me get up in the morning and again be enthusiastically back at writing stories.
That's beautiful. No, for me also, सबको Creativegarh retreat जाना चाहिए to find out your purpose. No, so on a lighter note, I jumped out of bed and I was so glad I did when I had to go to Kasauli for this Creativegarh retreat. And I think just the fact that you can wake up in the morning and switch on your electronic tanpura and sing.
Oh.
You know, wo chahe aap saregama kar rahe ho, riyaz. You know, the fact that you wake up for riyaz, it's a beautiful feeling. I came back to music when I was 40. It was a turning point for me.
So that's another similarity.
Yeah.
I wrote my first story at the age of 39. I moved into storytelling. So it's not that I'd always written stories.
Yeah.
I wrote my first story ever at the age of 39. And then in the last 6-7 years, it's kind of so.
Okay, I have hope then, because I aspire to write a book. So thank you for encouraging me on that. And I'm going to definitely pick your brains as far as writing a book is concerned. Yeah, so I think it's just important to understand yourself, and just the fact that you understand yourself better through your storytelling. Like aap bol rahe ho that, you know, stories give you meaning. Storytelling gives you a meaning, right? Similarly, music gives me meaning. Writing too, it's cathartic. But उससे भी ज़्यादा कई बार मुझे लगता है that हम जो अपने हुनर के थ्रू जो happiness फैला रहे हैं, you know, we are not even aware. I've had friends call me to tell me that you know, we are starting lessons in music. I've had one person call me and say that, could you go to this particular park in Delhi and sit on this bench and sing a Mirza Ghalib ghazal, because my mother, who is no more, and उन पे वो bench dedicated है, तो आप क्या बैठ के वहाँ पे कुछ गा देंगे? For me, that was beautiful. It was a moment where I felt that you know, I have healed someone through music. That for me is my purpose.
How has storytelling healed me? When you get those messages, that when you narrate a story on stage and then people walk up to you, or you tell a story somewhere on a platform and then people reach out to you saying, you've given me hope, you've given me strength. And it's difficult to explain that feeling. So that kind of, you suddenly feel that when you heal other people, it heals you. That's how I would say storytelling heals me.
Yeah.
I have had so many incidents where my stories have healed somebody in that moment, and that indirectly has healed me. That was you're doing something. You're doing something worthwhile. It's not, you're helping people get out of their crazy mess in their life. There's so much of pain in life.
So true.
That, like, I remember an incident when we were performing, we were doing a jamming on Clubhouse where we used to do music, storytelling. It was just a casual jam on the Clubhouse app. And there was somber music playing, and I had written a new story at that point of time. It's about loss and losing loved ones and all. And so everybody was on mute. I had done my story. And suddenly, one person had forgotten to turn their mic off. He was bawling like crazy, crying away. And then suddenly when he realized that his mic was on, then he like, I'm finally letting it out today. That I lost my mother recently, and I was not letting it out. Your story let out those feelings. It was like very difficult to explain.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing.
That crazy feeling.
That's amazing.
So yeah, those things.
Yeah, I mean, for me, so I have for the longest time described myself as a childless by circumstance woman. So फर्क होता है childless by choice में and childless by circumstance. So for the longest time, I was childless by circumstance. Till 3 months ago, I adopted my 5.5-year-old daughter, Meera. Yeah. So music मुझे तब heal करता था.
Okay.
So I always said that music and writing are my two babies that I need to nurture. So उनको मुझे बड़ा करना है. तो मैं actually imagine करती थी कि अगर मैं सुबह रियाज के लिए नहीं उठूंगी, it's like मेरा बच्चा स्कूल के लिए नहीं तैयार हो रहा. You know, so for me that was a healing process. आप और मैं दोनों Creativegarh retreat पे गए हैं. You've been on a different one. Yeah. I've been on a different one. But basically the essence of it, of course, is just finding ourselves, finding our passion project, and finding the way we can heal ourselves and heal others. How's your Creativegarh journey been? How were you pre-Creativegarh and how are you post-Creativegarh? What is Vijay 2.0?
Pre-Creativegarh, unsure about the path that I'd taken because I'd already taken that path. Pre-Creativegarh, creating for the world.
Yeah.
Pre-Creativegarh, creating stories, writing stories as a profession. Post-Creativegarh, writing stories because I enjoy.
Yeah.
And trusting that the professional part will follow on its own.
Yeah.
Post-Creativegarh, writing stories that I love to write and realizing in this entire period that that's the right process, that you write it for yourself, and if there is authenticity in it, people will automatically connect to it. You don't need to write it for people.
Right.
I think eventually, if you look at it, life in general, I started feeling that life in general is like that. That if you remain just consistent at something, eventually the things come in. The problems happen when we want to rush things up. We have the end result in mind, and वो जो कहते हैं ना कि वो बड़ा ज्ञान लगता था पहले कि focus on the journey and not on the destination. तो पहले बड़ा वैसा लगता था कि क्या बड़ा ज्ञान फेंक रहे हैं और but now kind of I'm realizing that yes, that is the truth. That is the truth. But then वही वाली बात है that you have to be through that journey yourself to realize the truth of this statement that it's the journey that is what matters. And so these have been the changes pre and post Creativegarh, and I think more and more people, I mean, I wish I've been pushing so many people.
Same.
Okay, boss, go. Don't hold yourself back. Don't hold yourself back. You'll come out with a different thought process. You'll come out with a different way of looking towards life. So major changes. Yeah, this is how I would say. Right. Creativegarh and post Creativegarh. How about you?
When I went to Creativegarh, I was at one of my all-time lows. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know myself, and it was a game changer. Like I'm sure it was for you also. Post Creativegarh, एक गाना रिलीज करना बहुत बड़ी बात थी मेरे लिए, और ये समझना कि एक सेफ सर्कल है, एक कम्युनिटी है जहाँ पे आप वापस आ सकते हो. यू कैन कीप कमिंग बैक. Just the fact that I was accepted without being judged. I know cliche hai ye sentence, but it's a fact.
No, that's true. That's true.
You know,
I can vouch for it. I can vouch for it.
It's and like you, I keep telling all my friends and so many in my family, aap jao, experience karo. And there's just so much more, you know. Also, to find your voice, to heal yourself and to others, and to heal others, it's a big thing. वो चाहे आप स्टोरी टेलिंग के थ्रू कर रहे हो, राइटिंग के थ्रू कर रहे हो, गाने के थ्रू कर रहे हो, पेंटिंग के थ्रू कर रहे हो, डांस के थ्रू कर रहे हो, थिएटर के थ्रू कर रहे हो. The fact that you start finding yourself and you start finding the best version of yourself, even if you slip, you go back 2 steps one day.
Right.
You know, the second day you will come back, or there will be someone from the community who will say, it's all right, we're there. You know, you just keep coming back.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most beautiful aspects of Creativegarh, because there are so many people who've been through that. And that's the funny part, that we feel that only we are the ones who are going through it. But I think everybody has moments in their life where they're not proud of themselves, or they're struggling through something. We look at the world through the lens of maybe the facades that people put up, or the social media, or everything, and we feel iski life mein to kya hi problem hoga. And with this community, you realize that since everybody has been through some changes, or some crazy instances in their life, or some pain in their life, everybody is so accepting. And this also reminded me that when you were asking me about the previous question about how has life changed, it's not just on the storytelling aspect, or I think life's changed a lot for me on the personal angle too, drastically. Because when I realized that what is important in life, my equation with my family completely changed.
Oh, that's
in a good way.
Really good.
In a wonderful way. So I feel I'm absolutely. In fact, and this is not a joke, that I actually keep telling Arun that I will always see my life as wo jo hota hai na, BC and AD. So I will always see my life as pre-Creativegarh and post-Creativegarh.
Ditto.
So crazy changes.
Crazy, yeah.
Good ones.
Yes. Aane wale waqt mein, what is happening? What are you working on?
I am working on my novel.
Achha.
This year I've started focusing more on a lot of corporate assignments on how to use storytelling at work. So those things are going on. Hopefully, abhi I'm in NCR, so those connections have lost. Otherwise, if some chance comes up, then maybe writing for a movie.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Wow.
What about you?
I have a script ready too.
Arey wow.
I'm hoping it will get accepted. Like I said, lyrics that I'm writing for this particular band. Keep working on my music. I hope to give a little more time and effort to my music. I've come back to writing for publications, which is also important. I think it is an important part of me. So I'm glad that has happened. And always so grateful for Creativegarh and friends like you.